Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. There's the open. I'm a little behind today again. They did move down, but it's just a little bit. So the reason I'm behind is because my charts are all fucked up. I don't know what happened. I had to kill NinjaTrader last night, and it just, I don't know. It got all messed up, so we gotta fix our charts. I would say though, we did go up and finally fill that gap that I've been trying to take longs to fill the gap all week. They finally did it. So it looks like they're on the open, that they're selling it. They might come back to balance. Good morning, Uzi. I'm wondering, the workspace, it must still be there, right? So save as. I can only see main. Where is thirds? Where did it go? Oh, I'm so mad. Wait. Let's check our NinjaTrader folder. Documents, NinjaTrader 8. Workspaces. Recovery. Oh, there's one right there. There it is from yesterday. Can I do that? Can I just put it right here? Paste. Cancel. I'm just going to restart NinjaTrader and see if it shows up. Good morning, JB. Clear the cache. Might be time to do that too. It's probably getting pretty big. Let's see how big is it getting. Multiple gigabytes of data. 2 gigs. That's pretty ridiculous. Oh, you know what else? My sound is messed up. Because I was watching videos and I switched it over. Okay. Yes. Fix this to that. Okay. All right. Let's see if now if I come over here in NinjaTrader, come on. Workspaces. Thirds. Ah, much better. They're not all there. Oh no. Oh, oh no, some more loading. I think we're gonna be okay. All right. I did that. Make sure I put. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I'd like to get that little error message out of the way. Okay. Oh yes. I'm just already like on the spreads today. Okay. And oh yes. And also we need to come over here and fix this. It's the 13th today. Okay. All right. Our charts are all back and fixed. Oh, they're not. Well, okay. So there is one thing that I want to change here. I gotta use. So pay attention to this, John, because this is my. I gave John my new spread. He's testing it for me. So I have 2 of them now. Where is it? I hate how that window is like always goes like way out there. Okay. So I have 2 of them. One of them will just show you the close as a line, and one of them will draw candles. So the thing is if it's like a a really long time chart, like my 30-minute volume profile chart, this spread one doesn't work very well, especially um, certain time frames and certain instruments. Like if I wanted to do the two, and the reason I wanted it was because the 2 and 10 year spread just like does not straight up work. So I'm going to add this one, and I made some changes to it. So it it automatically rolls over for you now. It rolls over to the month of the chart. And you can push this if you want to do like a spread over months, but we don't need to do that. I can just do ZNCB. So for this one, I want it to be CT and ZN, and this is a 2-to-1 spread. Okay. That's quite a bit of data for it to load. Okay, that's good. I think I want this data series to load a bit more data. It's only giving me 15 days. I think I want 60 days. Okay. That'll take it a little bit. The 10-year, even though it did kind of tick down there on the open, it's come back and it is like super stuck. But we do have news today, right? I need to pull that up too. Okay. Oh, we get import prices and unemployment claims. So 2 mildly useful numbers. Okay, and here this one I want to be the knob spread. So I'm going to do spread candles. I think I already have this one set up. Yeah, ZNZB 5 to 2. Cool. So we got something really weird going on the curve here. Because the knob flattened a little bit, but then yesterday they steepened significantly. But when you look at the other end of the curve, they're still flattening. So they're steepening only on the far end of the curve. I don't completely understand what that means, but whatever. Okay. So now, oh wait, how come I'm not? I thought I fixed that. Oh, it doesn't find it. Turn on. There we go. Better. Fix my camera. It's a little too far over there. Okay, so let's talk about yesterday, huh? Because yesterday was a total fucking disaster. Oh my gosh, it was a total fucking disaster. That was the worst. That was the worst trading day I've ever had. That was absolutely insane. Now, I think that I'm kind of I happened to come into a confluence of really bad actions or really bad situation, and I handled it really poorly. So I think we have kind of a wild and strange market. Anyways, we're into summer trading. I think that's one of my first takeaways is that even if it's the summer, um, or even if things are going well and you're getting crazy action, summer trading is still super difficult for some reason. I don't think I was quite prepared for that. But then also I think I've been working in the yard really hard, so I've been maybe tired a little bit. Ugh, I woke up this morning, I was so hungry, so I made sure to eat a little bit extra today. Um, so maybe my ability to regulate and suppress impulsiveness was, uh, less because I shouldn't have taken some of those trades for sure. But also, I think that we've just kind of exposed, I was trading live and I had not traded that kind of situation live before. I think that we've kind of exposed the limits of my trading psychology, which in a way is good because, um, you know, I'm starting to feel like I'm getting pretty good at this strategy. Um, Sometimes I don't always catch what's going on, but I think I'm getting pretty good at the strategy. I've been doing well. I've been able to keep it going for a whole 6 months now. I was able to keep it going well. In fact, that bender that I went on, when you look at it, without commissions, it's actually break even. So all of the money that I've lost um, in the actual account came from commissions. So that just tells you how well I was doing. Um, but we've certainly exposed the limits of my trading psychology. So now we kind of have something to work on, don't we? And the cool thing about that, I think, is that this is something that I think you guys can really help me with, right? So I've been pretty good at trying to explain how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. So we can kind of, afterwards think about where I was, where my views or uh, you know were off kilter when my mentality was going bad, and how I can fix things that I can do internally to try and fix that. So I think we'll have our work cut out for us in the summer, and the summer is a perfect time to test that. The other good news is that even though I feel like that $250 is a very missed opportunity, it doesn't really change any of our plans for the summer. So the plan has still been to switch over to sim in the treasuries, maybe trade the micro e-minis a little bit, um, put some more money into the account at the end of the summer, or maybe not even till December. I will see, and then trade. I've also been able through all of this to do some statistics on my MFE and all of that, and I think that I've improved my automated strategies a little bit. So like my profit target and so forth. I think if I can get enough in there to trade 2 contracts, I think we'll be in a really good spot. So by the way, yesterday we did this strategy, and I did this one for that one. So I did one. What was that? 12. But for this 4-1, do I have it target 8 and 2? Yes. Okay. So it should be good there. That's good. No, looks like John got my spread indicator working well. Well, interesting. They are moving higher. By the way, what did the numbers come in at? It was pretty quiet there on the. Okay, so the jobs number came in at 222,000 versus an expected 215. So a little more than expected. Perhaps why they're moving up. Import prices were in line with expectations at negative spot 3. Well, I don't know, guys. This is so slow. Although I will note that the 30-year is once again leading us. I think that the 30-year is where you'd want to take the trade on this. That also means that we gotta. This high here at 154.05 is going to be a pretty key spot, and I think that they're really likely to go up and test it. Now the problem over here in the Treasuries, I'm not really seeing stacking here, and I see all of these targets, so I'm not sure. All opinions are personal, but I would suggest that you continue to trade the micros and leave the sim trading for testing indicators or strategies you're working. Reason being, you can't begin to understand how your psyche affects your trading if you don't have real money on the line in real time. Well, I think that there's some truth to that. Although the problem is I don't know if the micros hit me enough to care. You know what I mean? They are selling there. It makes me want to sell. It's a little bit early for me to be selling the E-mini, though. I don't know. Where are we at? Where are we at in relation to yesterday? We are a little bit higher than yesterday. This is 28, 88, 25. It's not very good risk reward to go short here in the E-mini, so I think that I should hold off. But yeah, I don't know. Like the thing is, even when I'm in sim, I feel nervous and I feel the emotions, but I do not think I've ever gotten on sim how I felt yesterday, you know? Most sim billionaires can't trade a live account to save their souls, right? The other thing is that I have to say, I really feel like when I'm putting live orders out there that the market reacts to it. Like, I mean, if I put something here at 05, I need to fix the, I'm not on auto long, but it's trying to put a stop limit there. If I put something there, okay, right there, you know, obviously I'm not putting anything there, but that would have been 44.50. And you can see somebody else put something there and it changed quite a bit, right? So it's weird, but the robots react to like literally everything. And you know, I still believe it's not like the market's hunting you. Like they're not going to see that one order and then go out to just screw just you. But they do see your order get placed and they factor it in somehow. And somehow it seems like that makes it more likely. If you're on the wrong side, it makes them more likely to push you for some reason. You know? So you're right, there's some real limitations on the sim here. Now the other side of this is that my statistics seem to indicate that if I can trade two contracts and take 2 ticks on the first contract, that would increase. Yeah, that would make things a lot better. Because robots be robots. It could be. Yeah. I mean, maybe they think it's I don't know. All I know is that the market reacts to it for sure, and that the market fights me more when I'm placing them live, for sure. But how big of an effect it is on the strategy is probably impossible to know. But I do think that they react to it. So I think that just means that you kind of have to be a little bit more. You can't just throw a trade out there, right? You've got to be sure that you're putting something in on an imbalance where they don't have the ability to do that to you. This is my take. But anyways, so if I'm going to trade doubles here, and that should that should give us more data, and we can see how that goes. But if I can get it for the +2, then what I can do is I can move it so that break even is at -4 at that point, so I can totally just sit there and give it room. In some cases that might help, in some cases that won't. And then in some cases I can just get out at what would be -2 from my original position, but ends up still having made 2 because they took the profit on the first contract. So, but we need to do it. That's all theoretical. We need to do it and collect stats on that. ZB wants to go. They're selling at 06. That's interesting. That's going to be a real no? L2000. I think I did the right thing by holding off on selling equities, but I do kind of feel what caused this move up? There was a move down, but what was there a piece of news that caused that impulse up? I know oil jumps above 4% on reports of suspected tanker attacks. Maybe that was it. I saw that earlier when I woke up. The big headline is Donald Trump saying, "I think I'd take damaging info on a 2020 arrival from foreign operatives." Harry Munster says risk. What happened to... Oh, that's right. Wrong. Thank you for noticing that. We need to roll over, don't we? Let me double check. Yeah, it's rollover day. It's time to roll over. Roll over. So that's what the problem is. You need to switch to the September contract. You're not going to see much. Okay. So I just did that. I don't know if it's too terribly different. Yes. I hate how it does that. Okay. September. They actually haven't completely rolled over, it looks like. Rollover in equities is technically at the RTH open. Okay. But we still want to be on the new contract now, I think. September. Let's see what they're like in the micro futures. Hardly any liquidity being offered in the micro futures. 20s versus 100s. So it's maybe a little iffy, but John is saying rollover in equities is technically at the RTH open 8 days before the expiry. So, but the rollover is today, right? Because the expiry is... oh, it's not the 21st, is it? Okay, now I need to go to the CME website. So it looks like they have still not rolled over completely. E-mini, S&P 500. Full contract specs. Trading can occur up to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time on the third Friday of the contract month. Okay. So, the 21st would be the first Friday. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days before. Oh, John just gave me the roll dates. Equity index roll dates. Oh, all of them. Cool. 6/15. Oh no, that's the expiration. No, we want 2019. 6. Expiration is the 21st. Roll is the 13th. That was that's today. Okay. But John is saying that it is not until they open. So if we wanted to take a trade going into the open, probably I should do it in June. But that's probably also a good reason to just not trade it until after they open, huh? And this Oman tanker attacks is very curious to me because I'm not quite sure why it's happening or what it means. But that does confirm that the rollover is today. And NinjaTrader wanted to roll over today. So I would say you can roll over, but I would be a little cautious because there tends to be a little bit of fishy business around the rollover date. That could maybe also explain why Treasuries continue to act the way that they are, because there's probably a lot of hedging going on as they go into the new contract. AT&T cancels orders for Samsung's folding phone. Oh no. I was so excited for that phone. I really wanted that phone, and I wasn't able to wait long enough, but I was like saving up for that phone, and then I guess that's a good thing that I didn't, because apparently it's been a real dumpster fire. Yeah, Wrong says the volume is more on the current contract. Yeah, he's right. It's not as much on the current contract as it's been earlier in the month, but it's still more on the current contract. Let's see if that changes in 45 minutes. Mm-mm. Mm. Mm. Donald Trump tweeting about a bunch of stuff about Congress and stuff, but he's not tweeting about the big story, which was that he said that he probably would accept help from a foreign entity if they had some information. Probably change in Monday. On Monday, the ES volume will be with the September. I think you're probably right. Well, I think that you're probably going to see some of it change on the open, but you might not see things return to normal until Monday. And also what you might see, I think, is that the E-mini will turn into the summer trade more on Monday. Because the thing is once you've gotten all of that June news out of the way, volatility decreases significantly. We're trading some big blocks in the 5-year today. Must be because of the spreading. Yeah, talking minis here. I don't know if that change is going to be a good thing though. Oh, I really hate summer trading, man. It is different for sure. And this action right here, even though we had a little bit of a move up, and it really seemed like that's a reason to get excited. And given that there's these targets here, they really could continue to move up through them. I mean, when they have targets placed at multiple levels like that, they usually try and trend through it. But it's hard to see. Trading a real count without seeing discipline and a clear edge in sim is just asking to lose money. I don't know if Seth has a clear enough edge to trade live, to be honest. It's 50-50. Well, so the probability is 50-50, that's for sure. Although I think the issue is not that there's edge. I think that, I mean, because when we were on sim, really from December until I started trading this, though, so from December to April, it was really good. I mean, it was really good. And even the beginning there, it was really good, right? I think that the strategy is totally there. Well, they came back. Interesting. I think that the strategy is totally there. I don't think that the trading psychology is. I think that I am taking too much on losers. And then the issue is that the situation I keep finding myself in is, well, let's just say that I had bought at 06 and then I saw that downtick at 05. Okay. Or maybe we're here where we are right now. So let's say that we're long 06 and we're down 2 ticks. Do I sit there and try and get filled at 05? Do I wait for it to come back and scratch it? Or should I just be puking at 04.5? And I used to be patient and, maybe even let it come back up and see what it does. But as of late, they just keep going, and the correct answer would be to puke at 04.5. And I don't know what to do about it. I don't have, there's got to be a way for me to go back and look statistically at what it's going to be, but I don't know what to do in that situation. And because it's been happening, I've been taking the full stop too often. And then when the probability drops below 45% at the same time, then the edge disappears. So I'd say that that's more a mentality thing than anything. But it's also a time of year sort of a thing, right? Like I've been doing this now well enough, and even when I was doing it live, right, to know that time of the year I can do well. So we need to wait for those times of years and trade that, because I really don't think that I have an edge in the summer. I think I have an edge when the market is moving, but I don't think I have an edge in the summer. And again, the edge is only there if I'm performing properly. MAE stats add at MAE extremes. So what does that mean? The problem that I have is I can see how often they go -3 or -4. Actually, let's pull this up. I can show you guys. We can look at this. I can show you the stats that I do have, and maybe you can tell me if there's something there to it. Okay. Anyway, I think I have to open up Office through here. And I just need to make this smaller so that it doesn't... yes, this one right here. Okay. So here it is. Oh. I don't actually think this is the one that I wanted, is it? Or, oh. Yes, okay, it is. I just needed to scroll over. Okay, so here's every trade that I've taken since December. Okay. And over here, I made a pivot table. Now, why is it not? Oh, okay, because I'm also scrolled over. Okay, so what I did was these are all of the trades that I got an MFE of 8 at. And I added them up and then compared it to what I got. And we can see that, oh, wait, is that one the 8? Oh, it was. You can see that I had left a little bit on the table there. So it was almost the same. That says to me that if I get more than 8 ticks, there's not really much of a difference. There isn't really much of a difference with the taking it beyond. Does that make sense? Anyways, you know, like if I had just taken, this is like if I had just taken the profit every time, and this is what I actually got, and you can see that there's only like a $30 difference. And then when you add on to it the number of times that I've screwed up, you know, this month, that's where I said, okay, it makes sense to always take a profit at 8 ticks, right? When I took these ones, like this is 6. I'm actually doing better than if I had just taken +6. Here is 4, doing considerably better than +4. And here's 2. Here's 2 is where it gets crazy, right? No, wait, that one is that one? I think that one might be 3. Yeah, that one's 3. Here's 2. So lots of trades that have gone +2. And when you look at it overall on the trades where I get +2, where the MFE is 2, I actually have lost money on those ones. And if I had just taken the +2, it would have been almost $10,000, right? So that's where I was saying, okay, if I trade with 2 contracts and always take +2 on one of them, that significantly improves my stats. Because 2, yeah, Harry Munster says 2 is noise, right? So most of these trades that I'm taking, I'm getting good enough position that I can get at least 2. It makes sense. Trade at 2 contracts, take profit at 2 ticks on the one of them, and then move my stop to break even, or something like that. So then, or move it to keep it at -4. But then the maximum that I can lose at that point is 2, not 4. Okay. So then this was all of the losers, I think. Yeah. And I went and I did the calculation there. Yeah. Like here was the losers and stuff. So you can see normally I take -2. I can also come over here and I can organize it by like okay, data, custom sort, and sort it by ticks against me. Yeah, It might have and add another one, and then also do it by close profit and loss sort descending, I think. Yeah. Okay. So here you can see, okay, these ones where I let it go 5 is those are bad. Okay. So there's a few times where it's gone 4 ticks against me and I made money, but those are pretty rare. 3, there's a few, but certainly not as many as the losers. Okay, 2, it almost seems like it doesn't matter at that point, right? There's 2s, 1s, 1 against me. Doesn't seem to matter either. And then, of course, if the best traits never tick against me. So it seems to me that the answer is if I have it go 2 ticks against me, that I need to be looking to get out. And that may mean that I need to just market order out. And it also seems to me, certainly if I get something like what I had yesterday, where it ticks against me and I see like some stacking with it, then I really need to just mark it out, I think. I think that that's the adjustment that I need to make about the strategy, but... Oh, John is saying yesterday was a bad day, it's over. Well, no, I think that's true. We're looking at more than yesterday, right? I'm looking at like everything in the past 6 months, and I'm looking at that one particular situation and saying, I seem to be confused at what I need to do in that situation. So I need a better plan there, right? Yeah, do what it works and improve. I think that the answer here is that if I get 1 or 2 ticks against me, that I really do need to take a look at it and make sure that there's not any stacking or anything like that, and think about getting out. Especially when I got now with the 2, then maybe I can just let it go to the -4 and we'll see. But yeah, I could use a smaller stop. Like I could put my stop at minus my like absolute emergency stop at -3 instead of -4, because I feel like that I've been taking on too much risk, you know. But this was to go back to the bigger thing, which was the contention. There's not enough edge in sim. So if I come over here, oh wait, I have to hold on. I have to do a couple of things so that you guys can actually see this one. Okay. So if we just go to this time period, because before this time period, I was, you can't trade it. Okay, so this week, apply. Before this, there was, I was using slightly different strategy, right? Okay. So here, yeah. So here you can see, this is my, and it's, hold on. Is it? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. This is like all trades. Yes. Okay. This is all trades. So to say, well, there's certainly enough edge in it, I think, to justify trading it. And that is, oh, wait, that's not with the, I have to go and apply them to everything. Let's go back. I have to go back. I figured out how to apply the commissions. I need to, but I didn't apply it to December. So let's do it. That to there. There we go. Now let's go back to the dashboard. December, June, apply. Now do I get the? I don't know why it doesn't show it. I don't know. I've gone back and calculated it before. I don't know why from here it's not calculating the commissions, but it does have a positive expectancy. Mm-hmm. Anyways, the whole thing was, have you done? Do you have enough in sim to justify trading live? I think absolutely I do. No question. There's no question about it. But to the point that you guys are making, there's some issues once we're live, right? So I just identified the two things that I think I want to change. But we're also going to have to start getting into the psychology stuff more. This move down is a little interesting, isn't it? I feel like it kind of just came out of nowhere. It's like saying professional sports players shouldn't practice. It doesn't matter, just play the game. Haha. Yeah, well, like this is one of the things is like where people say like it's not worth trading sim or something like that. Whenever I hear that, I kind of feel like that's maybe a reflection of somebody else's experience, that like they don't you don't feel I don't know what is the right word here, like worthy or something, or like you don't want to trade. Nobody wants to trade sim. You hate trading sim. You want to trade it live for sure. I think that everybody feels that way. Some people, you don't necessarily have enough capital to really justify risking that much trading live. Some of us, our strategies just aren't working well enough yet to justify taking it live. But, you know, I don't think that you should ever be saying you don't trade sim or that there's no point to it. There's totally point to it. So, first of all, these fills and everything are pretty accurate. You can feel, pressure. I mean, I get nervous about it. I don't think that I get the problem with sim for me is that it's like a 1 day thing. It's like if I'm having a bad day and I take 2 or 3 losses in a row, and then I'm just like, okay, fine, I stop, and then the next day it doesn't mean anything, right? But on live, what has happened is that'll happen, and then I'll come in the next day and it affects me the next day. That's what I think has been different. I think that, because we had like those 2 Fridays that were bad, and I came in and I think Monday was kind of icky. It wasn't super bad, but it wasn't very good. And then Tuesday, I had like a really good one. And then we also got to remember that we had that Friday where I had like 3 trades that I should have taken +8 on, and I didn't. Right. And so the you can see how I think that I've gotten into a cycle self-destructive behavior. You know what I mean? I was almost trying to revenge trade it, I guess. And then that had gotten me to the point where when I was in a particularly vulnerable position, I made a bad thing. I don't think I even really realized at the moment when I was doing it the amount of risk that I was taking, and that I was blatantly breaking some of my rules, you know? And like I took that one trade and I was like, "Oh, this is right before the equity open. Like I shouldn't be trading this." You trade from order flow, so you need to observe the dominance, and that's okay, and it's different to backtesting. Yeah, totally, totally. Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's not backtested, right? These were all live trades based on live order flow. I know that I would get filled. The thing that's funny is that it's easier to get fills in in live. Anyways, there's many times where it said that I was like a couple hundred in queue and then only one order went out and I got filled. So, this move down is, man, I don't know. I'm kind of looking at the chart. I can kind of see. I mean, the move makes sense to me. Got rid of my strategy too. That sucks. Where's my? I need to put my new one. Sure. We'll do it on 8. No, maybe I should do it on 4. I don't know what I had it set to before. One thing that would be a nice improvement would be to have the right hand scale display in fractions. Oh, you mean in the spread indicator? Yeah. You know what's really weird is that there are certain situations where it actually will give you that. Can I show? Can I show one? No, it doesn't do it there. When I was messing around with a bunch of different things, I had it do that, and I couldn't figure out why it was doing that. I think that we can change the scale though, right? So we should fix that. You learn bad behavior because of sim. How do you learn the discipline to stay out of trades if action is bad when you risk nothing in sim to get in and play? Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is when you take a trade and it turns out poorly, I think you realize, and I've definitely over time learned that I need to take less trades and stay out of certain action. Like right now, even though this is moving down, and I really feel like I really want to be involved in this, that move in my mind came out of nowhere. Um, so I really don't think that I have very much edge in trading that. Um, and that it's coming back here now. I'm even a little skeptical of that. I'm actually thinking that I might want to fade this because they're probably going to try and make it back to 127 even, right? But anyways, I don't know. You can learn bad behavior, and oh yeah, Smash to Bit was going to say the same thing. You can learn bad behavior in live because you're so focused on winning. It goes both ways. Yeah. See, I think that when I got on live, I started to get I was trying to go for home runs, you know? Like last Friday, I think it was like the prime example of where my mentality was running into issues. I was looking for moves that were bigger than 8. You'll know when you find a clear edge. Trust me. Oh, look at that. It's a pretty interesting. The way they do that in oil is a little bit different from the way that they do it in treasuries, though. Didn't come out of nowhere. It followed the A30 employment and import-export news. Well, so wait, do I need this? Let me put that one over there. Okay. So if I come back on my chart here, okay. So the news here was 6:30. Okay, it was in a range. It actually tried to make a move up, and there was actually some cumulative delta going along into it. And then afterwards, it fell. But the reason why I say I feel like it came out of nowhere is I didn't see any huge, iceberg or anything. I didn't see any clear change in the DOM. I guess there was a little bit of stacking here at 05 half 06, but it wasn't like super strong. So this is where I'm kind of like, it could pull back and it could completely retrace. It could go lower. I'm not 100% sure. If I see something here, maybe we can take it short. A true edge in OF is money, as in having $1,000,000 account. Like the guy did yesterday, who sat at the offer with 3,000 combined, drove it into his bid slower, and let it drive it back up. Yeah. Ace says, "Don't follow me into this trade short." You know what, Ace? I really want to trade the E-mini this morning, and I really want to go short. And 28.93, 95 would be better, but 28.93 is an okay place to take it. But because of the rollover, I'm not going to be taking any trades until after the open, in the E-mini at least. If I see some volume really come over into the September contract, then maybe I will do it. It's not a clear signal. I just want to be in short. I want to be in short. I feel like that this market is primed to sell. Anyways, listen, it's okay. I mean, the thing is there are time periods where I definitely have edge. Like, there are certain months of the year and certain news events where I know that I tend to do well. Summer's not one of them, anyways. So 28.94.50 would have been a sweet trade, but of course the dogs had different ideas. Which month are you taking it in, Ace? Are you still trading June? Yeah, the 30-year auction this afternoon, so they will likely try to keep the ZB bias to the upside to set the price. So that's another issue that I have here, is that my stats say, 1, there's an auction today, we tend to move up. 2, the news was a little bit worse than expected, so that would tend to move us up. But we moved down quite strongly, and I'm not quite sure why. Maybe somebody had bought it up because they thought the number was going to be really, really bad, and then it wasn't, and so they sold or something like that. I don't know. Okay, Ace says he's on September now. And just, it makes me a little wary because the liquidity on it is still pretty light. I think that it's better for me to wait until the open. I really think, though, that they're going to sell it. some more stuff. So I have a question. So random question here. The task you can see my taskbar. I'm thinking maybe putting something there to cover it up, because we could put something cool down there. What do you guys think? I could go and get a little web element that would go down there at the bottom and do something cool. Yeah. See, so I thought maybe that you're going to get a pullback, or is it that this is a pullback and then they're going to continue lower, trying to get 127? Right now, they were able to make O4 go bid. They didn't take O4 half though, and it didn't take a ton for them to make O4 go bid either. So it's hard for me to see if there's really something sitting there trying to stop it. Okay, well that time they fought back at 004. It's also too close to the equities market opening for me to probably take one. This time period is just always a shitty trade for me. Hold on. Okay. Anyways, it seems like that the knob still wants to steepen. No thanks. Well, they're absorbing more at 04. He says, and with this ROM now, I have a weird schedule. I can't even trade into the open, which is okay. There's a lot of money to be made after the dust of the open settles down. Oh, really? That's... Yeah, I mean, I don't like... if you caught a really good one and all of that, then yeah, trading into the open is great because you caught one and then they can run on the open, but otherwise the open is usually just a mess. And I, you have a bunch of guys sitting there on the sideline. They know exactly what it is that they've got to do. But because they haven't made any actions in the market yet, there's no way for you to really know what it's going to be. Sometimes they'll show you things, but I'm just saying your probabilities are probably a lot more random off of the open. He says he's about to get a stop hit. That's unfortunate. I feel like there was another comment that we missed. No. I don't know. This is definitely what we've seen today. Mm, is a lot like the action that we've seen earlier in the week, where it's like uh, you get a pretty strong trend, but they're actually able to trend it really easily. Another true edge is gathering 20 to 50 of your buddies with 10 to 20k apiece and ask them to nicely each place as much size as they can on a bid slash offer to push for you. Uh, just so we've had this one before, and I just would warn you, the market lately, like yesterday, was a really good example of where, you know, they ticked up, and you see it stack behind them, and all of that sort of a thing. But that on its own, and I've actually back tested this, that on its own doesn't have a positive expectancy because there's the spoofs come along. At some point, there's either a spoof or there's just a really trending market where when they see that size, they just want to go for it. So it's been working really well lately, but and maybe it works better in some markets than others. But in treasuries, I've found that the instant that you start to say, okay, if we take up and I see a stack at 03, then I want to go long. It's like the instant that you say that, it's going to stop working and they're just going to go towards the size. They can do both. Just different markets. They're not consistent about it. It's point being, it's not a hard fast rule. And I would suspect that if you and your buddies started to stack a bunch of stuff on there, I think the algorithms would say that and try and go for you. No joke. In fact, you can see sometimes when there's a stack. So I tell you one thing is if you see it tick up, right? And it stacks, and then they hit it and it absorbs, buy that shit, right? Because that's like the market maker didn't believe it and he decided to test them and they held it. Then that's somebody that really wants to buy a lot. Even better than you've got your target orders placed and you trade right into them. Yeah. Well, if they're exits, I suppose. Still going into the equity opens very, very quiet. Okay, so they're stacking 100, 200 on the DOM in the E-mini right now. Let's see if we open, if we get a bit more. Buddies, what are those? Come on, Uzi. I'm willing to listen. If I had a couple $100,000 to stack bids up for you, and you had, we knew that it was going to work, I would, no, I wouldn't, because that would be illegal. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We got your back. Mm. Depth follows price 95% of the time. So if you think the bid looks weak and they're going towards size on the offer, they're pushing it from lower at prices you can't see. That might be the case. I do have to say that as of late, when they've done what I've talked about, which is you see some size and they try and hit into it, and they make it through it, I think that the past like 5 times that that's happened, we thought that it was going to. You know what I mean? So I think that there can be a reliable edge in terms of like contextually knowing if that stack like matters or not. Um, I always give that warning to new people because I know that it's not consistent, or at least probably a more accurate thing to say would be if you use the jigsaw, um, you know, uh, overall size indicator, this one right here. And it depends on how many you have it set out at. But if you just say, okay, if this is red, I'm only going to sell, and if this is blue, I'm only going to buy, that doesn't work. It doesn't have a positive expectancy. But when you look at them and you read it contextually and everything like that, I think it does. Although the problem I have right now is that I really don't. Nothing's really sticking out to me right now. Okay, so the equity indexes did open, but they're not trading a ton of size here in the September contract. If you had a couple of 100,000, you wouldn't be in here hosting the stream. You'd be hunkered down. Yes, I would. Actually, I think I would, because you guys. I think that the community that we built is worth more than a couple $100,000. Although, if I was putting trades out there with a couple $100,000, I probably wouldn't show them to you. I probably wouldn't show them to you. I would probably have another screen with the DOMs, and you know what I mean? You wouldn't be able to see. I would still show you guys the DOMs, but I would be placing my orders on a different screen because I wouldn't want people to know what my position is. But I would still totally run the stream because, man, this is great. I was thinking about this the other day because I was reading into some trading psychology stuff and looking at what some of your drivers are and things like that. And there's kind of always this question like, should you really be doing this? I think people always try and tell you like that you shouldn't be. It's really hard to find edge. You're likely to lose money, things like that. But there is no doubt in my mind that this was what I was meant to do. I don't know why. I don't know why it was this particular thing. I don't know why I've had as much success with this stream as I have. Because to me, having a good 20 people or so tune in every day, and when you look at the stats, it's actually well over 100 people that tune in every day. It's just not all at the same time. Is just amazing. It's just absolutely amazing to me, and I don't know why that is. Maybe you guys derive some sadistic pleasure out of it, but there's a reason for it, and I'm just really grateful that we got such a great thing going. And yeah, absolutely. If I do start doing well, and I think that I'm not so sure that I'll ever be able to like quit my day job, but I do think that I can get some positive expectancy going in here and build up and play with the market's money. But I'm not going to stop streaming. It may get to the point where I might have to hide my orders, or I might have to do some other, like if we became way too popular to the point where it was like too difficult to even to even read everything that's going on. We might have to do something to like limit the number of people that are talking, but I wouldn't stop streaming. If you're a degenerate gambler, don't do this. If you're a normal person who can control yourself, then you're fine. You'll probably still lose, but since you're not degenerate, you'll lose. You'll lose money you can afford. Yeah. Well, the thing that's funny, remember, is I did lose some money, but the money that I lost was only the commissions. That's the thing that kills me. It's like, that one's not like in the past. I've looked at sort of things, and I say, okay, I got unlucky that time. The market is just not the market that I tend to do well in. And that can happen, and that's legitimate. I don't think that you want to try and blame the market for things, because at that point you should just not be trading. But I've gotten a lot better with that lately. But the fact that I had made that much and then lost, I can only blame myself. And it wasn't like that the market wasn't doing well. The market was doing well. I just made a series of poor calls. And I think maybe part of it is like I said before, part of it is that the market is pretty wild. Part of it is that it's the summer, and it seems like that I thought that wild and the summer would be okay, but apparently it's not. and I've also been working really hard trying to finish my yard, and I think that probably affects me too. But the real killer has been that I do not seem to understand the psychology aspect of myself enough to handle that particular situation. You have the perfect platform to deploy size for yourself. Tell the guys in here to bid or offer on some price, and bang, it's done. So I tell you another thing was that there was a couple of times where I took a trade, where I was thinking about taking a trade, and I kind of saw a flow of orders already going in, and I thought for a second, like, if I thought that people were taking trades based off of what I was saying, I would put a stop to it. So I don't think that you should try and trade off of me. Because obviously, first of all, I'm inconsistent, right? But second of all, you need to come up with your own strategies, right? Because even if you're following me when I'm doing well, that's just a crutch. That's a crutch, and that's you might make a little bit of money in that time period, but then that's not going to be forever. And then what are you going to do? All of that time that you could have spent on developing yourself, that you didn't because you were relying on me or somebody else. You don't want to do that. Don't follow other people's trades. It's nice to get an idea of what other people are thinking, because you can get ideas from that, and you can kind of get a feel for the market from that. But you don't want to actually like shadow their trades or something. Trading without having size to deploy is like playing poker without getting a hand dealt, without knowing what cards you have and where and when you can attack. You're stuck. Well, nah, I mean, Twem Dog, I think that you I think that you understand something that's important, right? And that is that it is definitely the guy with the most money ends up winning. And the thing is that if you have a market where some guy really, really knows that he needs to buy, and the whole market is going to do it, knows, that is the one that tends to move really, really fast, and then you can't jump in on it, right? Or you get the slow mover, right? Because everybody's short and there's nobody there's nobody to buy into to fill the big guy, and so the big guy has to sit there and wait for people to fill him, and so you get this slow mover with lots of absorption at every step and everything. That's why those happen, right? So that's a key thing to remember, is that the most money ends up winning, but the more disagreement there is and the more money there is out there overall, the more it can potentially move, right? That doesn't mean that you as a retail guy can't find some edge in that, because the difference between you and them is that that big guy, he can't sit there and say, oh, okay, there was a little bit of a turn there. There's some people absorbing it all 3.5. I can buy here. You can't do that, because at most you're going to get 5,000 contracts there, and he needs like 30,000 contracts. So he has to do it at multiple prices. But you, because you can get in and out, and because you can know the market really well, and what the typical behaviors are and all of that sort of stuff, you literally can catch those really, really good spots, and you can make cash off of doing it. And if you're doing it at the right time, where a larger guy is already out of position, or there's some sort of imbalance of some sort, there is some real edge that you can find. And honestly, the market really needs more small market makers, I think. So I just get a little bothered when I hear things like that, because it kind of places blame on the market, that there's no way that a retail trader can be profitable. This is not true. You can. You can actually be quite profitable. It's very difficult, because the thing that we're talking about doing is very difficult. There's a lot of stuff to know. There's a lot of nuance. You need a lot of experience, and then there's all of the other things, like being able to just sit here and read the market and see what it's doing and making the right call. That's hard. Being able to manage your mentality and the psychological aspects of it, that's hard. It takes a lot of time, more time than most people have. It's difficult. That's why most people don't make it. But it's not because the game is unfair. It's not true. Back in the day, when it was when we would be all floor traders, and before the online thing really took over, it used to be that you would have a big trader in a bank, and maybe he took a loss, and you know who he would blame? He would blame the locals. He would blame us, right? It's harder to make consistently profitable trades than it is to make profitable trades. That's why bad runs usually follow good ones. Yeah. Well, you know what? I actually think is I really think that what tends to happen to people is the market will start doing one thing, and you'll notice it, and you're taking advantage of it, and you've essentially found a short-term edge, and you can make a lot of money off of those short-term edges, but you might not understand why it's doing that thing. And so when the situation changes and it's not going to do that thing anymore, you won't know, and then other market participants that know use that against you, and then you end up getting a bad run. I think that's also part of when that happens. You've got to know when to hold them, and you got to know when to fold. Yeah. That's where, another thing is I don't like it when I just say I don't like it, but it bothers me when I see people like on Facebook groups, and they'll post a strategy of some sort, and they'll say, here's the statistics of the strategy. And you say, okay, well, why does it work? And they don't know. They stumbled upon the strategy by putting a bunch of indicators together and back testing it and curve fitting it until they found something that worked, and And then they forward test it and it works. I mean, I've seen people that do that, but then they start trading it live and it stops working. And the question is why? Well, because you didn't understand why it worked, and so you didn't understand when it was going to stop working. You have to know. You have to understand the market so that you can make. Because I think that's the other edge to this is the discretionary call. Okay, so that's interesting. There's a block buy there at 0.4 half. There is some stacking at 0.5 half. It seems like they're trying to stop it here, and they're buying the E-mini at the moment. But that was a block buy. It's curious. And this 0.5 is kind of pulling a little bit. And well, the issue, I don't think you can take that short because they're stacking in the ZB. I don't know if they're going to make it all the way to 0.6 though. There's quite some iceberging going on here. I'm kind of thinking about fading it. Huh. Okay. It's just that let's see. Was a bit much. I don't know. There was a little bit of stacking in ZB. There is some 0.4 and 0.3 half as well. But see, they're having a hard time with that price. The absorption. Gold Olympian. How? Thank you for joining in with us. I don't have a. I love it when the Twitch guys come in and say something. Most of my viewers view us on YouTube, so there's a bit more conversation over there. But I like Twitch because most of the people that are going to come in on Twitch are going to be younger people. And, if you can get into trading when you're young, that can be a real, that can be edge, I guess. If you can develop your trading skills in that time period when your brain is still flexible and stuff. Oh, we got about 20 people watching right now, I think. You usually get to 1 or 2 dozen every day. Some people tune in and out. I don't exactly know how that works. YouTube doesn't give me enough stats for me to understand why. But I took business and marketing in college. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, trading is really, really hard. But that's why I say it's better to get into it when you're young. Unfortunately, most of the people that do this, because it's been an expensive thing in the past, most of the people that do this, they don't get into it until like their mid-30s. But now that we have these micro futures and you can start trading for like literally a few $100, you could work a month in high school, save it all up, and put it into a trading account and just practice and get good at trading as a teenager, man. It would be, Dennis says mistakes are much less costly at that age. That's a big part of it too. But, like I just think about like some of the issues that I'm dealing with right now, like your the beliefs, mentalities, and values that you have as you trade. Um, those are all things that are going to be a lot easier to develop when you're younger. Do you believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? I do. You're 19. 19 is the perfect time to start, I think. Um, Probably younger than that, you might not have the maturity to be able to deal with it. But I think when I look at like legendary traders, a lot of most of them started when they were 19, and that's all they've ever known. So, um, this is kind of developing the way that I thought it might, which is that that 04 half is a little bit weaker than it appears. But it's not staying off for very long, which I don't like. So I may just ditch this. So what exactly is going on in this screen? So the thing that you want to pay attention to at first right now is how come it's giving me that? Give me my highlighter. Yeah. My pen's not working. I'm going to have to stop it and restart it so I can like mark things for you. That's never happened before. There we go. You want to watch this area right here. Do it in yellow. You want to watch this area right here. Okay? Because this is the instrument that we're trading is a 10-year. 10-year. Okay? The red column are offers and the blue column are bids. So people that are looking to sell and people that are looking to buy. And the two middle columns are market orders hitting into the bids and offers. So what we just saw right there was that at 05 is going bid and offer back and forth quite a bit. It's what I like to call a balanced price. So what I'm seeing right now is that I sold at an imbalanced price, which that's not good. So I need to consider getting rid of it because I got the spot wrong. It's still kind of developing though. And I kind of like what I'm seeing in the 30-year here. And then I guess, like this is the price, 127.04 half. This is how much volume is traded there over the whole session. And this column is how much I make or lose. Makes sense? So we're literally looking at every order and what price they're trading at and making decisions based on the positioning of other people. So that 04 half should be going offer, I think, and it's not. But that the 5-year is not showing a stack at 21 half, so they probably don't have much incentive to want to try and do it. So another thing that's unusual here is that this one was 1,000 and this was 1,500. So they weren't putting a ton. They weren't putting a ton on either side there. Okay. He says biblical prophecy is happening in the world today. I wanted to talk to a lot of people about Jesus before time runs out, and you're a good teacher. I like the stream, but this won't matter soon because we will be in war and the economy is going to collapse. Well, if the economy is going to collapse, that is a business opportunity, my friend. Listen, any time that people are saying that something crazy is going to happen, I want you to think this is a business opportunity. I know that sounds kind of evil, but you know, I want to maybe try and change the idea that a lot of people have about money, because I think one of the ideas out there is that people with a lot of money are evil. But there's a lot of people out there with a lot of money that are really good people, and um, have been able to do a lot of really great things, like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, for instance. Some of the people, the most philanthropic, nicest, generous people in the world are people with a lot of money, right? And if something bad is going to happen, how are you going to be able to do good after that particular thing? And if you have money, now of course, if it was like an apocalypse, like the straight up apocalypse, then maybe it doesn't really matter. But I still say that you should go for it, because then you're going to have experience. You're going to be overall, you're still going to be in a better position to help people after that. Isn't Iran, China, and Russia, and even the U.S. reverting back to the gold coin? No. So there has been some discussion I've seen. Like I remember reading an article the other day that China and Russia were discussing not using dollars to trade oil, that they would use yuan and rubles to trade oil with each other. I think Russia would really like to get away from the US dollar. Um, but it's always kind of talk, and it's kind of one of those things that gets put out to kind of like scare the market. And I'm not sure if it's ever going to happen or not. I complained about no rain for a while, and now it's rained for 5 days straight. Really? Has it been dry in your area in Florida this spring? Because it has rained so effing much in Utah, it's exacerbating. Okay, so they did take O4 half offer. They did trade into O4 a little bit, but it's not really going. I appear to be in a chop area, so I think that I should scratch this. So not only am I in a chop area, but I'm not in a very good spot in the chop area. The only thing that's keeping me in this is that the 30 years still looks like it could come down. Well, pretty much it is the apocalypse. What I'm trying to say, peace and security plan deal. If the century is being fulfilled, it will be a 7-year tribulation once the man in power reveals himself. Oh well, I know what you're talking about, but I always tend to look optimistically. Every time in my lifetime that people have told me that the end is coming, they were wrong. And the people that were optimistic and positive and were looking to build things during that time were always the people that made money. And the people that were, dire warnings and things like that, they got a little bit of attention for a few months and then everybody forgot about them. It pays more to be positive. Okay, so we just went offer again, and I immediately saw a machine gun hit O4. So there appears to be a sell program out there. Mm-hmm. Yes. Your name is Seth. My name is Seth. We're pointed in is the name of the third. Yes, that's right. That's right. It's also the son of, or no. It's also the Egyptian god of war, right? 2012 was a fun year for doomsday prophecies, right? So have you heard about this guy? I forget what he calls it, but there's this guy and he's a math whiz. You should go and find him. I wish I remember his name, but he like has all these world records for doing math computations in his head, and he developed a calendar that is like way better. And his calendar has 13 months and then an extra day for the equinox. And he developed that just before the Y2K thing, and he thought that it was a solution to Y2K. But then, of course, that all turned out to be totally hype, right? Egyptians are fallen angels of false religion. Do you do you think, I've always wondered though, um, why is that? Is there any other example of where a god in Egyptian or Greek mythology is also the name of somebody in the Bible? So I don't know of any other case other than Seth, and I always thought it was weird, like where maybe the Egyptians must have gotten that name from Adam and Eve potentially, assuming that that's all how that worked. So I'm not 100% sure if I take everything in Genesis 100% literally, but I do think that person probably existed. If you were to die, is your relationship with a restaurant? I think so. I think I could die today and I would be okay with it. There are things that I would like to do, but if I were to die today, that would just mean that there was greater things for me to do on the other side. But I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think I'm going to die. I live in Utah and we're Mormon, and I think I'm going to get twinkled. That's what the so LDS people believe that after the apocalypse and all these sorts of things, that there will be peace on the earth for a 1,000 years, right? The Bible talks about that, and in those days, people won't die. Instead, they will just be resurrected in a twinkling of an eye. So my goal is to be twinkled. I don't want to die. The Egyptian gods are fallen angels that are all about sex and incest. Is it real? I'm gonna have to go and look that up. Oh, you know what? So there was I remember what it was now. Our friend yesterday, from Australia, I went and I researched about if Aboriginals receive government benefits, and I couldn't find any proof that happens. Everything that I read, in fact, was that it's fake news and trying to debunk it. It seems like that the government does actually have some outreach programs for Aboriginals and things like that, but that they're not like paying them benefits, not even like special medical benefits or anything like that. Couldn't find that, and I was wondering if he would have a source for me or something like that, because it sounds to me like something that is, they get that from somewhere, but it's called the rapture and it is imminent. How do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that it's not going to be another 1,000 years until the second coming? I mean, I really don't know either. I'm just saying that if it didn't happen, if it was another 1,000 years, or beyond your lifetime, and you were to behave that it wasn't coming, you would make more money than if you were to behave that it was coming. I guarantee you that much. If I were resurrected after death, I'd be pissed. No. So the LDS belief though is that you'll be resurrected with a perfect body like Jesus had. Except for that Jesus had the holes in his hands and his feet and stuff, right? Look at the performance Madonna did in Israel. It was a ritual. It was a ritual. Okay, that's diving a little deeper into things that I'm probably going to end up regret looking at if I go and search for, which we're totally all about. But I don't know, man. Oh man, that Madonna is performing a ritual that is going to um that is going to bring about the second coming. That's, I gotta hand it to you, buddy. She talks about the future. A life with ripped abs and glistening teeth is still exhausting. I can ruin a perfect body pretty darn quick. Yeah. Yeah, you could. I mean, the thing is, Jesus in his resurrected body ate fish. So, you know, if you want to continue your poor eating habits with your resurrected body, you can totally do that. You can totally do that. I don't think that there are any fat people in heaven, but you know, the LDS people believe in multiple kingdoms of glory, and probably in the other kingdoms there probably are some overweight people. Now I'm getting into blasphemy, you know. speculation on LDS doctrine, but that's always fun, but probably not fun for you guys. You probably don't want to hear about that kind of thing. Avengers Endgame tries to normalize the rapture of people missing, but they'll cover it up with UFOs like they're doing. Yo, man. Hey, so who was it? Who was it that was? I think it was you, Uzi, that was saying it's really bizarre that all of a sudden they're talking about UFOs. Although I haven't really seen anything in the past 2 weeks. Okay. I do see the equities falling there. It makes me a little nervous. It's interesting that there is still some stacking at 05, or not, sorry, some iceberging at 05. We're having fun there, but I think now it's time to zone in on this again, because I think I might have to make a decision soon. Hold on, buddy. And then the animals can hear my wife getting up. So this is curious that, and how long has it been, by the way? I need to do that. It's been 18 minutes. That's too long. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have to just take -1 on it. Hopefully that other order fills. IQ says 14 tick swing. Okay. Well, I'm actually was hoping that something like that would happen, because I wanted to test, okay, it's going against me. Do I really need to take the loss at that spot or not? So in that instance, we said that I should. So now if it goes up above 6.5, then that means that we caught that particular situation that was giving me trouble, and I was able to get out at a good spot. You might get that 14 ticks here soon. Okay. Well, that's definitely like I did the right thing. The thing that really kind of tipped me off is like, um, I think I need to change to make a change here was that the equities were like down towards their lows and they really sold there for a bit. So it's 8:10. I think that might be all I do today, actually. There's a little bit of size trying to push it up. I think I'd have to be worried about buying '06 though. The E-mini would really need to fall apart. Mikey says he's long from 25. Oh, hey, that's actually really good still. It's not the super optimal spot, but you did catch some trend there. I kind of feel like, I think that this is how this kind of action messes with me because you see it move up that much and you say, well, wow, there was some real opportunity there. But just because it moved doesn't mean that your strategy would have had edge on it, you know? I still see some. I still see them having some difficulty in this area. Like there was a big iceberg there at '06. They ticked down. There was size on both sides of it. '05 might actually pull. They might actually go into '05 again. That was a good reversal in NQ. Yeah, and the E-mini's moving up. I noticed that as well. So that might mean that treasuries might fall down here a bit, but it's not hard to say. The issue that you got here too is that there is some stacking at '04 that would tend to move us up, but then there's those profits at '07 that are being pills as well. And we did fall back, and that fall back was stronger orders than the move up. That's not what I wanted. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Or is it going to be that as soon as I take one or take a trade that they don't? I mean, this is that thing is like if I take it, I want to see it go offer and stack immediately. Okay, that time they tried to take it offer and they hit it back. If equities want to head higher, Z and NZB need to slow down. Well, the 10-year definitely sold there. Nope, see, that's not what I want to see at all. Because that says to me '05 is not the balanced price. And if we've come back and the balanced price is one tick higher, that's not a good sign for us. Machine gun hitting '05. Those are all one lots. Uh, they seem to be reacting to up and down ticks in the 5-year a bit too much. 5-year did not sell like the 10-year did. I still see some buying in the E-mini though. No, but '05 half stays bid. Hmm. Okay. So they hit that one pretty hard, but then they stopped it. See that? The 30 years not down taking. Okay, that time it held. No. Once again, the wrong spot. '06 to 12 got really heavy. Oh yeah, you're right. Is a fake at '06 a big number? 1017? No, it's probably. I don't know if that's like profit targets or if somebody's putting their foot down or what. They're still not letting '05 half stay offer. See, that's not. It doesn't mean that the trade's not going to work out. It just means that I'm in the wrong spot. It means I could have had O5 half or O6. I've been much happier. Do you guys think it might be ice? Okay. So my O5 pulled and they're not hitting it. Although equities they'll do look positive. My read in equities might not be very good right now because we rolled over and they're just not trading this September contract yet. Should have stayed in July or sorry, June. Okay, so they finally got that one to go down and it was a pretty good downtick, I think. Yeah. I still feel okay about it. Okay. If they're able to make O4 half go offer again without having to trade very much to do it, then you start to get into it in that situation where it's like offers aren't being filled. No, they hit it with 500 and it reloaded. Yeah. Okay. So they did go offer, but there was 29.72 that traded, so it was probably some profit taking there at O4 half. And the O4 is not pulling. And there's that big old, well, it's not big old, but there's still that big guy at O3 half. We have the natural gas numbers coming up here in 6 minutes, right? See, they're holding a reasonable offer, and this bid isn't affected in the slightest. 10-year actually led on that one too, which is a little weird. Well, now that we're sitting here trying to get the fill at oh 04, I can definitely say that I didn't get in the right spot. I should have been able to get oh 05 half or maybe even oh 06. Equities about to maybe make it over the open. New one, sweetie says, "Good morning, how are you doing?" Most of our, we've had a lot of people, newer people, stroll in on Twitch and say hi, which is great. Because as we were saying earlier, you're more likely to get younger people, and we want to get younger people into trading because they have the opportunity to develop trading skills when they're young and their minds are still flexible, and that could be a really good thing for them. Well, they pulled a little bit at oh 04, and some people are selling it now. Yeah, ZN needed to cool off for equities, not surprised there, and now they can just go back and going straight up like they always do. Shake my head, yeah. It's totally... Well, we have gotten the Dom to flip at the very least. I think when they get a price that's being stubborn like this, they usually do clear it. Like maybe 55% of the time. I guess usually it's not that. Was maybe too strong of a word, but okay. Okay. So there's my fill. Happy about that. Okay. So it goes offer. It's not an amazing offer, but it does look like they're still going. Since there was some profit taking there at oh 04, 03 half, they're going to be wary of touching that. The market maker might want to try and force them out, though. Seeing this stacking to 2 now. Still nobody. There you go, 3. So you probably start to see some people get squeezed down now. Yeah. A lot of people didn't like that. Okay. Okay. Spelled that wrong. Mm. It's getting to around the time that I like to stop trading. I don't like that. Let's just take that. It seems like they're not going to extend it any further than that. I can just take profits. Well, I wish that I had taken 03 half, but I mean, I guess I made it tick. So far though, the my uh, order strategy seems to be going about how I wanted. So, I was able to make it tick. Probably could have made three more if I had done a little bit better. And it's in a range, which is an area that I have a hard time with. So that was probably a little random, but I think that worked a lot better than because if I had just been doing it otherwise, I probably would come out break even or negative. Um, They're trying to keep volatility under wraps here, and yet stocks aren't exploding higher with oil up big as well. Hard to get a read on it all today. Yeah. Did I not get 04? I took it at 05. No, 03 half was where. Huh. Okay. No, I did the right thing. Did the right thing. Okay, well. Let's see, where's my Bitcoin? Okay, well, this is the first time I think that this morning in a while that they've been able to hold 8,000, so that's interesting. Oh, it does go off again. Maybe there's more in it. That's okay. I don't think like that I think both of those trades that I took um probably not worth it. It's just a little too choppy. And the only reason I was taking it was because E-mini looks positive. So they came down a little bit. That's why they pulled back, and then just out of nowhere, big buy again. That's not very good action for me. So I think I got lucky there. Well, a little bit of luck and a little bit of, I did some good things there. took the profit on, or sorry, took the loss on the first one, and held it out on the second one when I was seeing things in ZV that said that we could move down. So better than days past, at least. Oh yeah, today's the 13th. I keep thinking it's the 14th for some reason. Maybe because I want to say to myself that the bad day was on the 13th or something. But it wasn't. It was on the 12th. Verge. Verge as dead as ever. Man. That Verge. It is. I think that when I look at my evaluation method of evaluating cryptocurrencies, I think that the most interesting chart to me continues to be Verge. And if the cryptocurrency market ever comes back to reality and comes into a place where we can buy it, I think that Verge is one of the coins I want to get into. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if you guys are still with me. You kind of all went quiet there through that action, but I think that probably I hope that most of you decided that this action just sucks because yeah, I think I took a trade in not the best spot. The first one, at least. The second one, I thought that oh, we're ranging. They already came out, and I caught the wrong spot, unfortunately. Glukes fam says Anne. That had some interesting names come into Twitch today. Anyways, but it's time for me to go. Thank you guys for checking in. Might be kind of sucky like this for a while, but that's okay. That will give us plenty of time to yap, I guess. Good or bad, depending on whether you like the rants. Make sure you give the video a like. Don't go and like yesterday's video because we don't want the day that was like my worst trading day ever to be the one that everybody watches. It probably will be. Subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell icon because that makes it easier for you to find the stream when we go live every morning. And check out the Bitcoin charts on the how long do you trade for? Well, I've been doing this for about 2 or 3 years, but I usually stay in a trade for about 10 minutes. I don't know what you meant by the question, but trying to give you a good quick answer because I usually end here around between 8:30 and 8:45. My time. Mountain time. What was I gonna say? Yeah. If you haven't checked out the Patreon, which is linked in the video descriptions, check that out because you can see the charts that I post every day. You can see the charts from a week ago. So there's still some useful information in there. You should be able to see the reactions to the big sell that we had at the beginning of the month in Bitcoin. So it's worth checking out. And if you find it useful, I would appreciate the subscription. I put all of that back into the stream. So thank you very much. I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.